All right, bet. Hello, chat. Tonight we'll be reading One Piece, chapter 1189, King of the World. Last that we left off, it was basically a battle chapter where Emu and Luffy were going at it, and Luffy was getting dog walked. If I would keep it a stack, my man Luffy was getting dog walked. It's kind of sad to see, but we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. For one, this is the king of the world. It's Emu, bro. Like, yes, we know who Luffy is. Yes, Luffy is the main character, but it's normal, bro. It's like this is someone that's been hyped up for years, and he finally has showed himself. And just think about it. This is a weakened version of Emu as well. People really do forget this. This is the weakened version of Emu. So it's like, are we really surprised? Maybe at how crazy it is, yeah. Cause that man Luffy got stabbed through the chest, and he told his ass. He said, "Joy Boy, the real Joy Boy, is way stronger than this." He was basically mocking him, telling him like, "Oh, you're a fake, like you're a fake. The Luffy that we know, the Aura King that we know." Emu's telling his ass that that guy's a fake. And now from here, we know that, can it get worse? It very much can. It very much can get worse. I don't even know what I was about to say because I was about to say it can't get worse than this, but it very much can. But anyways, let's get into the chapter. Chapter 1189, King of the World. So this is the cover page. Is Nami with three monkeys. Oh, the three monkeys are Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro. That's kind of nice. Luffy after just one hit from Emu. Ugh. God damn, panel the first panel from this chapter is Luffy just in agony. Like literally just like sheesh. And this man stabbed him and pinned him against a tree at that. What? What's wrong, Usopp? It's Luffy. I'm just worried if he's gonna be alright. What? Why are you being so ominous all of a sudden? Whoa, 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 whoa. Now this is something we cannot ignore. Usopp is sensing that Luffy's in trouble. Now, if y'all remember earlier in this arc, when Chopper and Gaban were falling, Luffy sensed that it was Chopper that was falling. He also sensed that it was someone else with him, but he didn't know who it was. I do feel like this may be something that pertains to Usopp's haki because we haven't seen Usopp use haki since Dressrosa. And now Usopp is sensing that something's wrong with Luffy. While Nami doesn't know what Usopp is feeling. Hmm. May have something to do with Usopp's haki. Usopp may use haki again this chapter. Well, not this chapter, but this arc. We don't know. I hope it is because I would love to see Usopp flourish. I think everyone in the community can say that we want to see more from Usopp. Of course, he'll be fine. Don't forget his opponent swiftly defeated a large giant Nami. Hey, Fishman, who the hell are you saying he defeated? All I can say for sure is that Luffy's hockey suddenly weakened just now. Mm. And as we know, Jinbei definitely has hockey, so he's feeling that Luffy's hockey is. There, she's completely thawed out. Princess Shuri. We shouldn't warm her up too quickly. Don't worry, I don't have anybody heat. This nigga's jazzing. Like this nigga's joking still. I this nigga's jazzing. In this time, what happened back then? Tell me about that time. It is you, isn't it? Princess Shuri? Squeak, squeak. Stay back, don't get in the way. Squeak, squeak. Brooke, are you good here? If things get scary, then hydrogen, we're going too fast. Damn, this nigga Loki trying. He trying. Loki's trying to. He's trying to heal. He's trying to heal up, and they just crashed the whole boat into him. Luckily, we got Chopper, guard point. What are you guys doing here? Hydrogen, Gerd, Chopper. Thank you, Chopper Kun. You're so cute and reliable. Praise like that doesn't make me happy or anything, you jerk. Chopper's funny, man. I need to hurry, Loki. Let me see those wounds. There's blood everywhere. This is bad. You guys will make my injuries worse. What did you come here for? It's a waste for you to make a stand here. Go back up, Loki. But the kids. Even if we rescue the children, it'll be just a temporary reprieve. Their goal is to totally subjugate Elbaf by force. Do you really think this is a position they just decided on at the reverie? That can't be the whole story, right? That man is likely at the heart of this. Loki. Do you have any idea who that guy is? Yeah, sort of. Okay, we're back to the fight. It seems thou art unable to move. This sword feeds on life force. Sheesh. How many slashes can thou endure before perishing? My goat! No! No! This nigga got stabbed through the chest with a sword that feeds on life force. Brother, please. I don't want to see Luffy die again, bro. Monkey D. Luffy. Such a detestable name to Mu. And yet thou hast two elder siblings who go by different names. A brother slain by the Navy, and the other is a prominent member of the Revolutionary Army. And he stabs him with another one. What is this? Fragarach? What an ill-mannered trio of siblings. He must be. Oh my gosh, Luffy, bro. You know, when Emu showed up on the island, I said it was about to be bad for the Straw Hats. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. He must be the one that we spoke of. Oh wait, Red Hair mentioned him back then. With this ability, I'll make sure Pops and those soldiers have no regrets. Hold on, Loki. I know you're angry, but you can't do that now. What are you talking about, Red Hair? Are you really gonna stand in my way when I want payback for my dad? I considered Harold a friend. I'd like nothing better to avenge him too. But you have to think clearly. The government just attempted to take over Elbaf. Your priority should be to prepare for war. I'm gosh. Huh? A full on war with the world government? That's not what I have in mind. This is personal. Dad and those men have regrets I need to lay to rest. I'm talking about revenge on the ones responsible. And just who is that? Who's your target? All those world government bastards. The one who tried to use Harold is the king of the world. What are you saying, Shanks? The world government has no sole ruler. It contradicts everything they stand for. Hey, Shanks, it's okay if you don't believe me. Haha, if there's a secret king, I can just take his head and be done with it. Even if you make it to the Holy Land, the king's power is immeasurable. Shit, sorry. And that's if you can make it there. There's someone who managed it once. Rox is really the only person that's ever made it to. Rox is the only person that's ever made it to Emu's room. We have to stop downplaying Rox. I remember I was having like we was having like not like a friendly debate where we was just asked about certain like top tiers and like who we choose in our team, and I said Rox and someone else had said Loki. And while I think Loki's potential can be greater than Rox, I think we've taken Rox feats a little bit too lightly. And it's just because that we haven't really like we didn't give Rox. Let me not say this. We didn't see as much from Rox that we are continuously seeing with Loki. Like Loki has the Devil Fruit. He has the legendary Devil Fruit. He has the crazy hammer Ragnar. But experience goes a long way. Experience and Rox has done some crazy ass feat. He has some crazy ass feats that I just think Loki hasn't lived up to yet. And Shanks just said it himself. Shanks just said it himself. Even if you make it to the Holy Land, the king's power is immeasurable, and that's if you can make it there. There is someone who managed to make it once. We don't need to rush into the fight just yet. Shut it already. You don't get to boss me around. I don't care where that prick is hiding. I'll destroy everything in my way. Don't do anything stupid, Loki. Those few years I left the country, I wasn't even able to make it to him. If the king of the world really has come out to play, this is the perfect chance. You're so simple-minded. Say what? But I have no objections in this case. I'm going to take him down, our father's enemy. This is an unreal conversation. If the world has a king, then what role do the five elders serve? I just told you not to get in the way. Oh, Brooke is arguing with her. He says he froze her because she's dangerous. Huh? You're the one who froze her? Well, she may indeed be dangerous, but I assure you it's not her fault. She was being controlled. This girl is like a daughter to me. Bro, One Piece never fails to have some jazz in the middle of a fucking crazy moments, deep moments. Sounds like there's a lot of interesting things going on here. Where the fuck Robin come from? Robin, Chopper, I want you to come to the library right away. Saul, howdy. Next is, oh my, apologies, but this is the next blade thou must suffer. How unfortunate. The third one up is Jingtan. This nigga is spawning new weapons and seeing he's literally playing a game. He's spawning new weapons to see how much he can literally torture Luffy. Joy Boy, the next Joy Boy. Jesus, man. Sea Cloud Port West Village. King of Hell 3 Sword Dragon. 103 Mercies. This man is laughing. Dragon Damnation. Grom. This man is still laughing. He's got Zoro at a standstill. 800 years ago, the 19 kings who forged one world made a vow of equality. They placed their swords all around the empty throne to make that oath. Tohu Bohu Nemesis. Longinus Stigma Muramasa. The 19 world weapons. They were all laid to rest there. But guess what? When the Great One revived us with Omen, he granted us access to them. I'm not lying. Their power is a legend that lives on through the great houses. Get it, Renoir Zora? This is the power that reigns over the world. Sheesh. This is the weapon of House of Shepherd, Grom. Meet the weapon of House of Rimoshifu, Longinus. Oh, wait, hold on. Thou shouldst be honored to die by the arms that constructed this world. Ooh! Gabon! Gabon has come to save my guy Luffy. Gabon has come to save Luffy. The left wing of the Pirate King has arrived, but he's going to die. He may have stopped him for a quick second, but he is going to die. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Like, thank you for your services. It's sad. It's sad. What do y'all think about the chapter? I think this chapter is crazy. First of all, this man Luffy didn't have a single line. This nigga was just in agony the entire chapter. All he did was groan and grunt and moan. All chapter. And now we're seeing that they have access to 19 different weapons. and he's given access to these fucking bum ass holy knights. What are we about to see from Zoro and Sanji? Do you see their face? I know that they feel right now that Luffy is weakening. They feel it too. They trying to stay poised because it's like they cannot worry. They can't try to worry too much about Luffy. They gotta stay poised. And of course, I think they're gonna come back out with a dub. But Jesus, this is crazy. This was a very crazy chapter. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very crazy chapter. I have no idea what we're about to do on this one. Sheesh. Sheesh. Oh my gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, what did Gege tell him? Spoilers for the new chapter of One Piece, I am afraid. Chapter 1189, the King of the World. And the cover art is Nami and then Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji doing the speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil, with Luffy doing the Gear 5 pose, which I thought was neat. And the chapter kicks off with Luffy being fucking impaled, as Imu stares him down, aims at a nearby tree, and he fucking stabs Luffy through it. Then we see Usopp sense this through observation haki across Elbaf. This is like several countries worth of distance that Usopp can perceive. Although it seems like the function is more intuitive than Usopp actually seeing a vision of Luffy getting fucking curb stomped. Nami says, don't worry, he's gonna be fine, and Jinbei's like, I don't know, man, this dude just one-tapped Loki. Loki's like, hold up, what do you mean defeated? I'm still in this. And Jinbei straight up ignores him and says, all I can say for sure is Luffy's haki just got suddenly weakened. Then we see Ragnar's ice has fully dissolved and Gongo is free, but as Brook tries to question her about their past, she's not able to answer because she's still unconscious. And then Ragnar looks visibly distressed that he sees Gongo is now free. But in that same moment, we see Hyrule, Gerd, and Chopper fly in on a ship. And I fucking told you guys Hyrule was not gonna get benched. This is his home, this is his arc, he's the Momonosuke of Elbaf. And just before the giants crash into Loki's dying body, Chopper activates Guard Point and stops the impact. Also a small detail, but Chopper's Guard Point is now the size of an adult giant. And I think earlier when they fell from the Sun Realm, he was almost the size of a mountain in Elbaf, so don't sleep on the doctor. Gerd rushes over to check on Loki's injuries as Harding gets up from the crash. And we see him contemplate this conversation he had off screen with Jarl as he tells him it's a waste for him to try and stay and fight Zaza at the village. Jarl tells him go back up Loki. Even if we rescue the children, it'd just be a temporary reprieve. Their goal is to totally subjugate Elbaf by force. Do you really think that this is a position they just decided at the Reverie? And this is something we saw in his conversation during the flashback with Harold. Jarl is aware that the world government has always been plotting on Elbaf. He says that can't be the whole story, right? That man that Luffy and Loki are fighting is likely at the heart of everything. And clearly he is talking about Imu, right? And this vendetta against the giants. But while we know that this was the moment that Imu fully decided that the Herald experiment was a failure and that the world government would eventually take Elbaf by force, I do think that this is the moment when Shamrock initiated the plan to invade Elbaf that we're seeing now. That the pirate he was talking about was Loki, and that he found out that he was chained up and imprisoned in Elbaf and that he could potentially be flipped to help them take the country. So then we cut back to Hyrule and he says, Loki, do you have any idea who that guy is? And Loki affirms, yeah, sort of, as we fade back into the fight with Imu. Imu says, it seems thou art unable to move, as he summons another sword from the Omen. That's about the most we're gonna get from Luffy right now. This sword feeds on life force. We see Luffy fading out of consciousness as Imu continues. How many slashes can thou endure before perishing? Monkey D. Luffy, such a detestable name to Mu. And yet thou hast two elder siblings who go by different names. A brother slain by the Navy, talking about Ace, and the other is a prominent member of the Revolutionary Army, as Imu aims his sword and thrusts. Fragarok! He shouts as he skewers Luffy a second time. Let's pause for a moment. Can we just recognize that Imu talking shit about Ace and Sabo as he crucifies Luffy is fucking insane. This is some genuinely heinous villain behavior, man. This is some shit that Randy Orton would say to John Cena in 2000.
Like, he's dead ass like, you and your brothers are all dumb fucks. Y'all really thought y'all had this shit in the bag.
Also, if you're wondering, the Fragorock is a legendary sword from Irish mythology that was once wielded by a Celtic sea god named Manannán mac Lir. Alright, back to the slaughter of Monkey D. Luffy. As Imu continues his verbal tirade of Luffy's brothers, and it seems like Luffy himself is almost at death's door. And then we flash back to the death of Harold, as Loki mentions that Shanks had talked about Imu in the past. We see the moment where Loki says, with this newfound godly fruit and Ragnir, I'm gonna take revenge for Harold. Shanks says, hold on Loki, I know you're angry, but you can't do that now. What are you talking about, Red Hair? Are you really gonna stand in my way when I want payback for my dad? And Shanks says, no, wait. I considered Harold a friend. I would like nothing better than to avenge him too. But you have to think clearly. The government just attempted to take over Elbaf. Your priority should be to prepare for war. And Shanks is locked the fuck in. The way Oda is drawing and writing him right now, the final saga is really the start of Shanks' true mission being unveiled. It's fucking sick. And Luffy's like, whoa, hold on. A full-scale war with the world government? That's not what I had in mind. I just want personal revenge for Harold. And revenge on who? Who is your target? Who are you going to aim for? All the world government bastards. Loki, the one who tried to use Harold, is the king of the world. Yara says, wait, Shanks, what are you talking about? The world government has no sole ruler. It would be contradicting everything that they stand on. And Loki laughs about it. He says, if there is a secret king, I can just take his head and be done with it. And Shanks cuts him off. He says, even if you make it to the Holy Land, the king's power is immeasurable. And that's if you can even make it there. There is someone who managed it once. And Loki knows immediately that Shanks is talking about Rocks. Now, Rocks died almost immediately after Shanks was born, and then God Valley was erased from history. So it's possible that Shanks knows about Rocks because of Garling, but I can't help but wonder if he got this information from someone else. Remember, Shanks went to the Holy Land immediately after his fight with Blackbeard. I just find that interesting. I really cannot wait to see what actually happened during the fight with Blackbeard and Shanks. But then going back to it, Shanks says we don't need to rush into this fight just yet. But the flashback ends with Loki saying, shut up, you're not my boss. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna find this prick wherever he's hiding, and I'm gonna fuck him up. Now back in the current day, Loki says those few years that I left the country, I wasn't even able to make it to him. If the king of the world has really come out to play, then this is the perfect chance. We have to get him. Hyrudin says, you're so simple-minded, Loki. But in this case, I have no objections. Our father's enemy, I'm gonna take him the fuck down. This is really the Hyrudin aura chapter, man. This is so fucking sick. I knew he was gonna come back. Then we come back to the other Straw Hats, and I love that it starts with Jinbei just going like, this conversation about Emu and everything with the world government is fucking crazy. Then we see Brook and Ragnir arguing about Gunko, with him saying, I just told you not to get in the way. And Ragnir's like, cheap. And Chopper confirming that he can translate for Ragnir, which means if they want to do a lore drop later on, Ragnir knows everything. But then Chopper confirms and he says he froze her because she's dangerous. Well, she may be indeed dangerous, but I assure you it's not her fault. She was being controlled. Brook says, please, this girl is like a daughter to me. And Ragnir's like, cheap? Questioning, how does that even work with a skeleton having a living daughter? I like Ragnir, man. He's very funny. I'm glad he's been added to this story. Then we see Robin fucking teleport over out of nowhere and grab Chopper and say, I need you to come to the library right away. So then we cut back to Imu and Luffy, as the next weapon he pulls from the Omen is this flaming black axe. He says, oh my, apologies, but this is the next blade that thou must suffer. Even Imu is like, this axe is pretty fucking crazy, bro. How unfortunate, the third one up is Xingtian. Then we jump back to the fight with Zoro and Summers. We see a clash between Zoro's Dragon Damnation attack and Summers wielding the sword Graham. Summers says, 800 years ago, the 19 kings who forged our world made a vow of equality. They placed their swords all around the empty throne to mark that oath. Zoro's like, wait, sword lore? Tohu, Vohu, Nemesis, Longinus, Stigma, Muramasa. The 19 world weapons. They were all laid to rest there. But guess what? When the Great One revived us with Omen, he granted us access to them. I'm not lying. Their power is a legend that lives through the great houses. You get it, Roronoa Zoro? This is the power that reigns over the world. This is the weapon of House Shepherd, Graham, and then we see the fight with Sanji and killing him as he shouts, meet the weapon of House Rimashifu, the Longinus Spear. And then once more back to Luffy as Imu says that thou shouldst be honored to die by the arms that constructed this world. Arms meaning weapons, not his literal arms in this case. Then we see footsteps and a dash in the corner. Then the chapter ends with the craziest clutch ever from Scopper fucking Gabon, as he meets Emu's axe with two of his own and a crazy fucking smile. The left wing of the Pirate King has arrived. The Gabon Pack Watch is here, but for once, maybe this break week will help us. We won't have to see it too fast. I mean, fuck, man.
Now, that was a great summarization. And I loved how he definitely brought back stuff from old times. Like, definitely, like, I completely forgot that Shanks went to the Holy Land right after fighting Blackbeard. Like, how does he know about rocks? Because I didn't really think about it when I was reading it. I'm like, how did he know that rocks made it to Emu? And he was literally just born when Rocks died.
Spoilers for the new chapter of One Piece, get out of here. So this dude said, it's cool how Emu doesn't seem to be able to choose which weapon gets pulled from the Omen. It's kind of like Kite from Hunter x Hunter. And yeah, this is a great point. I was wondering about this same thing reading this chapter. And what's really interesting is Emu did seem like he was controlling which weapon he summoned before, but it was only when he was doing it through this glaive. You know, summoning the Nemesis blade from its hilt, or summoning Stigma multiple times against Luffy and Loki. In all of these attacks, he's not summoning the weapon from the Omen Ring yet. He's just manifesting them through the flames on his current weapon, which might just be the function of this weapon. That when he's using this glaive, this twisted naginata, he's actually able to control what weapon gets materialized. Meanwhile, at least in this chapter, he's almost surprised by the axe he pulls. And he apologizes as if it wasn't his decision, as if the Omen has decided which weapon he will use for him. It could be hinting that it's Mu that's choosing the orders of these weapons, or maybe even the souls of the 19 kings themselves. Either way, I hope we get an answer to this in the next chapter. But for now, it's super interesting, and yeah, it's really reminiscent of Kite.
I like that.
I definitely think Emu is wielding the powers of the original 20 King. I think it's going to be part of the reason Emu has all these eyes up here on their back. Let's theorize for a second. Contract with...
Whoa. I didn't even think about all the eyes on this. Oh, wow. Wait, hold on.
With the devil. But with the 20 Kings, they did make the contract, and it was too late, and that's why they ended up dead. And Emu is probably right now using their dead souls to power themselves. The original 20 Kings in One Piece that the Celestial Dragons descend from, I am pretty sure Emu has stolen their souls. Theorize for a second.
I ain't gonna lie, this man Quell be having them theories, bro. He be having them theories, and I just be like, what the fuck? How do... Yo, that's really great theory right there. That's really great theory right there, bro.
Mihawk's Black Blade Yoru has become the topic of discussion after the latest chapter leak. Spoilers. People are telling me that this is the blade from Nefertari D. Lily, Vivi's ancestor. Now that we're learning about Emu's power and that it's confirmed the blades he's pulling out of the black ring on his back are the 19 blades of the kings that helped him form the world government 800 years ago, we all know that one blade is missing from his arsenal, as it was originally 20 kings that included Nefertari D. Lily, Vivi's ancestor, the one who refused to become a celestial dragon. So the theory is Emu only has 19 blades in his arsenal because the 20th is over here with Mihawk. And that would make me think that he is a descendant of Lily, which is possible. Like, Emu definitely made her go missing. We've seen how the celestial dragons get down with forcing pregnancy on people. So he could have had a son with her and tried to raise and train him to follow after his path, and of course giving him her blade. But being born from a literal D family mother, and as a human, it would kind of make sense as to why he's so powerful, but also why he's so left alone and why he just stays to himself. He found out his father murdered his mother and is wickedly ruling over the world. He's not going to become a celestial dragon. Then being close to that world, he must also be privy to the knowledge of Joy Boy and that there's a savior to come. So there he sits as the strongest swordsman in his isolated mansion, waiting for his father to be taken down and the world to end with the sword of Nefertari D. Lily. Maybe.
That's very interesting. I like that. That is very, very fucking interesting. People be having some great ass theories, bro. And I just be sitting here like,